People will invest the most time, energy, and effort in the areas that they're the most interested. Don't fight it, invest in it. Welcome to the Drew Coaching Podcast. This is Season 2, Episode 4, Learn What You Want. And we're focused on supporting the areas that others want to grow. Drew Coaching is a community of leaders and creatives who are shaping the future. My name is Eric Drew, and I'm a coach, speaker, and I'm driven to help others grow their leadership and creativity. Each week on the podcast, I share 10 minutes or less to grow leadership, creativity, and impact. And this season, we're focused on teaching, mentoring, and coaching. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. I want to give a shout out to our new email subscribers. I also want to say thank you for sharing this podcast with your friends. I can tell that teaching, mentoring, and coaching has struck a chord with our community because you are sharing it with others. Thank you. I want to remind you that you can find all of the show notes at drewcoaching.online, and then I share more on TikTok and Instagram. I'd love to connect with you over there on the social media channels. So this is my fourth podcast focused on teaching. If you're just joining us, you might want to go back to the other episodes from this season. But even if you're new, I think this episode is really going to help you a lot. Our focus for this week is support the areas that others want to grow. We encourage the learning and growth of those around us by teaching, mentoring, and coaching. Now, you might be teaching, mentoring, and coaching in your volunteer work, at your job, with other friends and connections, in your family. You can teach, mentor, and coach anywhere. If you are, I'm super excited and grateful, but I bet you've also found some tension. Not everyone wants to learn what you think they need to learn. Sometimes supervisors or classroom teachers can experience this the most, but as one of my mentors says of everybody, the first rule of teaching is that people learn what they want to learn. Tension comes when what you want them to learn is different than what they want to learn. So if this is true for you, I think some of the lessons of the episode Start with Strengths and a new process for practice will be helpful, especially helping people find and notice what they're good at and that people grow through self-discovery. I also want you to think back to a time when you learned something significant or when you made a big leap in your ability. I bet you'll find that you had a great deal of intrinsic motivation. When individuals have a personal interest or a sense of autonomy in what they're learning, they're more likely to be motivated, engaged, and invested in the learning process. To support the areas where others want to grow, here are a few strategies that we can use. Offer choice. Provide learners with options and choices within whatever you're teaching them. This could involve offering different topics for projects or allowing for flexible learning paths. Incorporate real-world context. Connect learning material to real-world examples and applications, demonstrating the practical relevance of the content that you're teaching them or they're learning or growing. Encourage project-based work. Allow learners to engage in projects or assignments that align with their interests. Project-based learning can be a powerful way to integrate diverse topics and skills. Create a positive learning environment. Foster a positive and inclusive learning environment where learners feel comfortable expressing their interests and pursuing their areas of passion. Finally, facilitate personalized learnings. Embrace personalized learning that cater to the individual learning styles, preferences, and paces. You'll be able to find this whole list and a quick write-up of each in the show notes, so I encourage you to check them out and see them written down at drewcoaching.online. But the first step is simply to recognize people learn best what they want to learn. You can force people to take classes, to practice exercises, to get extra help or coaching in specific areas. But if they don't want to learn that thing, if there isn't intrinsic motivation that comes from within them, there will not be great results. So some strategies we have are to offer choice, incorporate real-world context, encourage project-based learning, create a positive learning environment, and facilitate personalized learning. But first, I need you to lay down your agenda for their learning. People will learn what they want to learn. I'd love it if you really take some time to think about our application questions this week. Again, you can see them written down in the show notes as well. First, think of significant progress or learning for you. What was it? How did it come about? When was a time that you encountered significant opposition to learning and growth? Were maybe they not that motivated? And then what are one or two strategies that you can implement this week to support the areas that others want to grow? Hey, this one can be tough, but if you can get it, your leadership and impact will grow significantly. Over on Instagram and TikTok, I'd love to hear what you're learning and the progress that you're making. Share with us on the socials this week. Thanks for journeying with us, for your investment in growing the leadership and creativity of others. You're a leader. You're creative. The world needs your voice. So help others grow in what they're interested in this week. As we're doing it, bring hope to life. Remember, we're in this together.